So you went to community college for a decade?
I know, my degree was in Chicano studies and film.
It was what?
Chicano studies. The culture, Mexican-American.
And you got a degree in that?
Yes.
On purpose?
Yeah, I wanted to connect to my roots.
You're not getting a job in Mexican-American studies.
But I could go back to school.
Do you have a degree?
Yeah, I have a degree.
In?
Liberal math.
What can we get into?
I don't know. What can you get into?
What are you studying?
I am studying creative writing.
Going to a private institution for a degree that typically does not have the best return on investment.
But I have a passion for this kind of writing.
But
so
is the degree required? We built $75,000 of student loan debt. Say the degree one more time.
I study Shakespeare.
Okay, Shakespeare. Lovely guy. What are you going to do with that?
Well, that's such a complicated question.
Oh, no.
This is where you just have to say, we come from different worlds. You're not going to understand this.
What do you mean?
You won't understand like the precarity and why it's really all right.
What do you mean though?
Like your reaction there was like, oh,
I studied music composition in college. I was in the College of Arts School of Music, but I asked the job and you didn't know what to say.
So I have a lot of experience working at writing centers.
Okay.
So I could be, that, there's availability for those kinds of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I also, something I really enjoy is like working with people, who, are like applying to college.
Welcome back, and today we're going to be going through different degrees which are useless that people studied. We know that in terms of degrees and university and college, it's very expensive and a lot of people are in debt. So we're going to be going through this video to make sure that you don't fall under this category.
Since graduating college, I would say I've applied to around 200 jobs.
I would say I've applied to about 150, maybe more now.
Some of the interview processes consist of constructing models and valuations. Some of them are pitch decks.
I made it to the final round for one big tech company. Didn't end up getting it. I'm past round 2 for another one, and the other ones I either haven't heard back or just ghosted. Yeah.
I think in terms of the unemployment rate, there's something that companies do that I don't understand why they do it. The first one is to post fake jobs. I don't know in terms of what kind of benefit that does in terms of companies. They will be posting fake jobs and you find that candidates are busy applying and getting the auto rejections. I don't know. Maybe someone can explain to me in terms of what's the purpose of that. The second one is the different interview processes. I don't understand why you have to interview a candidate all the way up to a 7th interview. I mean, what more do you want to learn that you can learn from the first, second, or mostly the third? Because I understand the first one is mostly where you are busy introducing yourself or the expectations. Then whoever who's recruiting will be let you know in terms of what are the salaries and whatever. I understand that's the first interview. Then the second one should be the main interview where everybody was supposed to be there and they're busy talking about the job. I don't understand what other things are getting interviewed all the way to the 7th interview processes, because as absurd as it is, but there are some companies which offer such interview processes.
And it's being reflected in an unusual new trend in the economic data. As far back as the numbers go, the unemployment rate for recent college graduates has been below the rate for all U.S. workers. But over the past few years, unemployment among recent grads climbed above the rate for the broader population.
This is essentially the first time on an ongoing basis that this has occurred in the 45 plus years that we have data going back to.
Matthew Martin is a senior economist at Oxford Economics.
So really this is pointing towards a lot of people who have that higher educational attainment are actually worse off than many of their peers who have lower educational attainment. That's an interesting dynamic to have in a market where you're told you go to college, you work hard, you'll have a job after graduation. And unfortunately for many at the moment, that's just not happening.
Getting a job is a full-time job.
Recent grads are facing one of the toughest job markets in a decade.
My perception is it's kind of like a black hole out there.
Out of 70 plus jobs, had 3 job interviews.
Imagine applying for 70 jobs. That's how frustrating it is in terms of the people who are looking for jobs in the current market.
And out of those 3, I got ghosted from 2 of them.
New data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics shows on average, recent grad unemployment has been around 5.3% in 2025, compared to roughly 4% of the entire workforce, according to economists from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. And some degrees that were once regarded as a surefire way to jump into the workforce appear to no longer carry the same weight.
I've been told since I was 12 or 13 that if you get a degree in computer science, you'll get a job. I was looking for about a year.
So I was always told that the market for teachers was like huge, right? That's one of the main reasons why I decided to pursue elementary education. There's a lot of engineers, computer science, and business.
I think there's one thing that I've realized in terms of the job market, as much as we can blame the companies, but there's a trend. If we look about many years ago, a lot of people were not going to universities. We still had manufacturing companies where a lot of people will be working from there, where these were jobs that needed skill more than analysis in terms of a lot of jobs that we find today. And the other issue is that as much as this year we have people who are graduating and they don't find jobs, next year we also have another bunch of people who are graduating, and every year we have people who are joining the job market for the same degree and for the same jobs, and you find that on the market maybe we have 100,000 jobs for that market in a year, but every year we have maybe more than 100,000 of candidates who are joining the job market. So to me, it feels like we are reaching a point where the market of graduates and the jobs is becoming not proportional. It's becoming inversely proportional because we're getting more candidates, more people are getting more educated, but at the other hand, we don't have enough jobs because some of the jobs, there's already people who are employed there. And obviously, unless something happens and the company needs more people, it means that those jobs you won't get them. The other one is that you are competing in the global scope. Now some companies are actually hiring internationally. So you're also competing with people who are in the USA and other people who are in other areas, whether India or whatever, because of the whole sector where some companies actually employ for people who are working remotely, and which means that you have a lot of things in terms of where you have to compete with, and also in terms of the salary expectations. Some companies decide that they want to employ candidates where they will actually end up saving, because at the end of the day, it's about making as much profit as possible. And if you have a company, you'll always prioritize as much profit as possible, as much as it doesn't sound good. But at the same time, I think we need to understand that part from a business perspective.
Business majors that are struggling right now.
And as if looking for a job isn't hard enough, last year the company Resume Builder found 40% of the hiring managers they surveyed had posted a fake job, and most were entry and mid-level roles, leaving many early career job seekers chasing positions that don't even exist.
There's just not a lot of entry-level jobs. The ones that are entry-level really aren't paying what should be expected for what the cost of living is nowadays.
I made this much before my degrees and when I was working at Sonic.
I told myself by 26, I would have my own house. And at first, I did kind of beat myself up for it, but you know what? It's like the world's changing right now. For me to be considered like successful or whatever, it's just not being in debt.
Let us know in the comments below how your job search has been going.
I just found out that my degree is useless. I got my master's in public health like 5 months ago. I don't even know, but apparently it don't even matter anymore. I think it's so interesting with the Department of Education specifically chose female fields. Like, let's call it what it is, female fields. Like these types of degrees and master's degrees that mainly are dominated by women, which regardless, master's degrees, PhDs, these different fields are going to be more dominated by women as time goes on because more women are getting their degrees than men are. Let's be so for real. But I think it's very interesting the ones they chose, okay? That are typically taken over by women, and how this like converges with this new conservative idea of how like men in certain spaces and spheres think that, education and careers are what's keeping women from having kids, because the birth rate is at like a 1.3 right now. The thing is, if my degree's useless, then give me my money back, run me my check, because I pulled like the amount of loans you have to take out for these master's degrees is insane. It's robbery actually, especially if you have to move to a place, get an apartment, and like get a job and live there and do all this and that. But I think it's interesting that they're lowering the amount of money that you're gonna get in student loans, which means you're gonna more likely you have to take out private loans to finish these degrees. You're not gonna be able to finish them with just the student loans, the federal loans you normally get, which means less people are gonna get these degrees. And also, if this degree is not considered a professional degree anymore under the Department of Education, certain jobs are gonna be like, we don't really care that you like. They're not gonna pay you more for the degree that you earned in this specific field.
I think in terms of a master's degree, I have a very different take. I think in terms of a master's degree, I believe that that's something that should be done while you are employed. Because, hey man, the market is very bad right now to a point that sometimes they would say that you're actually overqualified and you will need to be earning much more, especially because the entry positions, a lot of them, they're not paying a lot. I think in my eyes, it's better to get a degree, look for a job. Then once you find a job, then you can do a master's degree. Then that way it can benefit you, unless if you're doing a specific field that actually has a requirement for a master's degree. If not, I think I would advise anyone to not do it if you're not employed.
Natalie Nunn and Cam Newton show showed me that like that bitch can really pop it. Like she can really pop her shit in like one circles. Like I heard she got a degree in sociology, and it's crazy because that's what I'm about to go to college for. That's crazy, but it's just crazy. Like people say that degree is so useless, but when you are going in certain paths in life, that degree comes in handy. Like for real, like it really does. You learn a lot. Like you learn a lot. Psychology and sociology, you learn a lot. Like you learn how to just deal with people, and that's a degree. Like if you are influencer, content creator, actor, if your aspiration is to be like famous, them are degrees you should really take, because them type of degrees get you really far in life. They get you really far. Even if you just want to work, like get a good job somewhere, you will know how to get the job if you take a psychology class, because you will understand how to get in people's mind. I'm telling you, like you like get that degree. Get that degree so you can pop it. I'm telling you.
I wouldn't really say that there's a degree that's useless. I believe that education is important, and there's a lot of ways that degrees can be used, and or that knowledge can be used, as much as you might not get that job. Because yeah, that's a realistic that a lot of people have to face. But unless if you're studying somewhere else, NYU, where you have to set your own degrees and you study somewhere degrees, I think a lot of people are safe to actually do their degrees, because as much as we would say that degrees are useless just because people are not getting jobs, but at the end of the day, as much as there's a lot of people who are not getting those jobs, but there are some people actually working using those degrees, or using the same knowledge that they learned from that degree in another field. So knowledge can always be utilized in different ways. It's all about how you choose to apply that knowledge, whether in your field or another field. But one way or another, directly or indirectly, that knowledge will be useful.
So I'm currently unemployed, and I graduated from Cornell University a few years ago, and I think a lot of us can relate to grinding super hard in college, putting in the work, and we've been told if you do that, then you're going to be successful and your career is going to work out for you. But that's not the case. I have so many friends who also went to amazing schools and have great work history, but they're also really struggling to find work right now because it's just a really hard job market. So I know it can be discouraging, but we're going to find the right opportunity, and just know that you're not alone.
Wake up, check my emails. We regret to inform you. Move on, because I'm not gonna dwell. Make some breakfast or a coffee. I can't have both on the exact same day. Do my makeup or my hair. Pick a comfortable outfit so I can watch Criminal Minds all day and scroll on my phone. 4 p.m. hits, I get a sudden feeling of dread. I log in and apply to more jobs. Have a when are you gonna have a real job talk with my dad. Those are daily, I can't escape those. Daydream about moving out of this country. Get hit by the sudden feeling of anxiety because the semester is about to start soon. Have some dinner or a snack. Can't have both on the same day. Bed rot some more. Go to sleep.
I think in terms of a routine while you're unemployed, you'll find yourself doing some weirdest things. In terms of my routine when I was unemployed was playing Call of Duty. My friend will always ask that, seems like every day you're always uploading clips of Call of Duty, but I had so much free time on my hands, which it was a bit of a torture because it seems like the day is too long because you don't have anything to keep yourself busy. As much as you can spend an hour or 2 hours applying, but at the end of the day, you still have all these hours throughout the day. Yeah, you can try to be creative and do something, but it becomes a bit repetitive because you don't have anything new in terms of what to do, and also the topics that you talk with people, they become more or less the same about just checking up. How are you? You're good. Okay, that's literally it.
If you're about to graduate college and you think that you're going to get a high-paying job that's related to your major, you might be in for a surprise, and here's why. College post-grad unemployment rates are literally at an all-time high since about 2021. It's at about 5.8%, right? Which is even higher than the national average overall, right? Now, the reason why the government might make you think is, oh, because of immigration, immigrants are taking low entry jobs, right? But we all know that's not true. Immigrants are literally contributing to the economy drastically, whether that be through taxes or taking entry level jobs that people don't necessarily want, right? Now, entry level jobs that people do want, like software engineering, computer science, or like other automated things, right, are being taken over by AI, right? AI is taking over this, and AI is growing increasingly strong, right? But why isn't the government stopping AI and regulating AI, right? It's because billionaires and trillionaires literally benefit from AI because they don't have to pay AI a livable wage, right? Think about it. Let it sink in.
Can someone explain to me how I have 4 degrees and still can't get a job? BA in communication, BA in Spanish, BFA in dance. Get ready for this one. Master's degree in freaking journalism. Mind you, I've gotten laid off not once, not twice, but 3 times in the span of 2 years. So if you're feeling behind, just know you're not alone. Basically, we're all cooked.
In terms of the last clip, in terms of the videos that the degrees, not the videos, the degrees that she has mentioned, I think the one that's becoming redundant now, it's journalism, because in terms of companies now, they're actually getting free market, and actually most of them are actually using people who are content creators to actually advertise their stuff, and these are people who don't need to be busy studying for such a degree. Then moving back to AI, I think AI, that's something that we need to live with and adapt with because we can't run away from it. Because, for example, for us, people who use PC, we know that this year, the whole year, you won't be able to buy the RAM because all the RAM that's supposed to be made for the whole year, they've already been bought and dedicated to actually improve AI, which just shows that how much resources that companies are contributing towards AI. So yeah, man, let's just say everybody's gonna have a tough time ahead. And yeah, hopefully things change. And yeah, I think that's all that I have in store for you today. And as always, I'll see you sometime, same place.